Check. Who's excited for Super Summer? What's up, guys? Welcome to Super Summer Night. It's so good to see you guys. You guys want to play a game? Cool. It's going to be hard to get up again. You got to say check. Say check. Say it again.
There it is.
I told you, if you just say check, your mic magically comes on.
Check and it comes on. Anyway, you guys ready to play a game? Yeah!
All right.
I don't know how I could follow that. You guys sound like Winston with his diapers, like swoosh, 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 swoosh. Anyway, hey, how many of you guys are excited for Super Summer? All right, hey. We got a few things we want to talk about tonight, just a few quick little announcements before we get going. So, hey, whoever's back there running the slides, can you do me a favor, Jake? All right, go ahead, go to our first one. We got some quick announcements. Go to the first one. There, no. Go up to the top, Jake. All right, that's the first one. Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, hey, Riverbend, this Sunday, right? This Sunday, we have Riverbend. I know we didn't do it last month because we had Super Bowl stuff and we were doing stuff, but this coming Sunday is Riverbend. If you have not been to Riverbend, you really need to go. It's really exciting. It's really fun. We have the QR code for RSVPing. Don't worry about RSVPing. Just show up. All you got to do is bring some clothes. Right after Sunday at 12:30, we're going to meet right in here. Normally we meet downstairs. This Sunday, we're going to meet right in this room upstairs. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing, and then we'll head out there. We will have food for you, so don't worry about lunch. So be excited about that. All right, go to the next one. Bible studies. Hey, raise your hand if you are a man. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. There we go. There's too many guys that were like, didn't raise their hand. That's kind of weird. Anyway, hey, if you are a guy, we have Guys Bible Study. That is in the greenhouse every Tuesday at 6. Now, I want you to raise your hand if you are a lady. Raise your hand. There we go. All right. That's good, because we have Girls Bible Study. I say we, you have Girls Bible Study every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Literally yesterday, Katie came home and I was like, hey, how was Girls Bible Study? And she goes, it was great. We learned how to make, what did you learn how to make? Alfredo, there we go. So like learning about Jesus, learning how to make Alfredo. There we go. So it is a lot of fun. Make sure you come to that every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. All right, next one. All right, FAQ. All right, real quick, I need everyone to focus up. Turn to your neighbor and say, focus up. All right. So, every year, the month of May, we go every Wednesday in the month of May. We usually get about 4 of them. We do a series called FAQ, Frequently Asked Questions. Here's what we do, and here's why we're starting this so early. Hey, Jake, I feel like I'm a little echoey. Can you do something about that? It's like Monday. Anyway, FAQ, what we do is we allow you to ask questions, and then we go find experts to come up here and answer and talk about those questions. It really is a little bit kind of how we're going to do tonight with Super Summer Night. We have the couches up here. Cheeto or myself, or both of us will be up here, and it's like a talk show, only we are discussing the questions that you have. Hey, here's the deal, guys. Listen to me. I say this every year, but I really want you to hear this. No question is off limits. I don't care if it's as light as like, hey, I don't understand this thing in the Bible, or hey, I really want to know what age should I try to start dating. Or if it's things like, hey, listen, I got a friend who's struggling with suicide, and I don't know how to help him. Guys, here's the deal. We want tough questions, because sometimes what can happen, especially if you're in church and you've kind of been in church for a long time, you have these questions, but maybe you're too intimidated. Maybe you haven't really thought about it. Maybe there's been something the question that's been in the back of your mind for years now, and you've just never had the chance to talk about it. this is the chance. So I'm going to tell you there are 2 ways to enter in questions. Turn to your neighbor and say 2 ways. Turn to your other neighbor and say dos ways. Dos ways. That's Spanish for all you guys that don't know. Here's the deal. You can either hit that QR code that's up on the screen. Easy peasy. You can hit that QR code, type in your name, type in your question, and then we will answer it. This QR code is obviously on the screen, and it is down on the sign-up wall by the big wall calendar. So you can either hit the QR code, and that's the easiest way, or you guys see right over there that those boxes on the wall. Wyatt, stand up real quick. Stand up, Wyatt. Point to that. There we go. Everyone see right over there? Everyone get a round of applause for Wyatt. Good job, Wyatt. Good job. If the whole high school thing doesn't work out, maybe, Price is Right. Maybe you can do it. Anyway, the second way you can do it, if you do not have a phone or you're just against QR codes, you can go over there, and those are our prayer boxes. Just get one of those sheets of paper that you would normally write a prayer on and stick it in there, and we'll get your question. Cool beans? All right, we're going to try that one more time. If you remember, I say cool beans, and you go cool beans. All right, cool beans? All right, cool beans. Hey, thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Random. There, okay. Evie, you are pretty cool. All right, here's the deal. Man. All right, here's what we're going to do. You guys saw the last announcement. I promise you we are going to talk about that, but not right now. Right now, I need you to give it up for my main man, Mr. Christian Cheeto James.
I'm your biggest fan.
No, I'm your biggest fan.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Check. Pastor Mike. Hey, what's up? I want you guys to know I was wearing all of this under the big old blueberry, and I am drenched in sweat now. So if you're one of the people that's coming up here to talk, just know you might be able to smell me. Ignore it. No, I'm definitely wearing deodorant. But sometimes, I also, okay, hold on. Backstory. I wore the big old blueberry last summer at Super Summer when it was 110 degrees outside, and I stood outside for like 3.5 hours in that thing, and I was running around screaming like, oh my gosh, welcome to Super Summer! Like really loud and everything like that, and so I was really sweating. So that, and the thing has been in a Target bag since then, so it's just been left to stew in my sweat for like, since June. I'm really far away. I'm gonna scoot up a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, hey, real quick, one more thing on the FAQ. Like 7 people have already submitted questions. So go you guys. Great job. If you have questions between now and May, please hit that QR code. Check it out. Put your questions in because that is going to be a really awesome series. And we're going to have to narrow it down a little bit just because, like, there's a plethora of questions that we could ask, but we're going to try and focus in on the questions that are like super intentional to you guys, things that we're hearing from multiple people. So like if you have questions, man, like scan that QR code, get your questions in because it's going to be a great series.
I swear, if I get one more question about can God make a rock so heavy that he can't pick up, I'm quitting.
Hey guys, please don't make Kemp quit. I can't do this without him. You guys ready for Super Summer Night? Very cool. Well, I do too. Okay, so let me explain how tonight's gonna look. For those of you who don't know, and a hush comes over the crowd. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to quickly explain how Super Summer Night is going to go. So essentially what's going to happen is we are going to have a few different topics that we're going to talk about, and we're going to invite some of our Super Summer veterans to join us on the stage, and they're going to share their experiences at Super Summer with you. You may have seen them around the room or around downstairs dressed like, I don't know, a banana or maybe a leprechaun. Who knows? They could be dressed like in a green sweater and a cowboy hat with green feathers on it, Brielle. They could be dressed in any sort of way, but you probably saw them around. And if you came tonight and you saw on our Instagram that you should rep your colors, and you are repping your colors, I am proud of you. I saw some people coming in the door like Dax wearing red, and I was like, yeah, Dax. Give it up for Dax. That's what's up. First year in the youth group, and he's already repping his Super Summer School. All right. So, yeah, we're going to invite some students to join us on stage, and we're going to talk about a couple of things. And we're going to kind of try and help you to understand what is Super Summer. Very effective. What is Super Summer? Who is Super Summer for? And what do we do there? You guys ready? Yeah. All right. First couple of people I need you to help me welcome to the stage is Ari and Callie. What's up? What's up? Sweet. Oh, there's another question. All right. So, the first thing that we're going to be talking about tonight is application and interviews. So if you don't know, Super Summer is a little bit different than something, say, like Falls Creek, where there are some requirements before you can go to camp, okay? So we're going to kind of talk about that. So first, we're going to talk about the application. Ari, would you share a little bit with us about the Super Summer application?
Yeah, so the packets are right there, actually. Yeah! So if you open the packet inside there.
Sorry, I'm trying. This is the unboxing video. Welcome back to my YouTube channel.
Yeah! Paper! All right, so there's going to be a spiritual assessment in there. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about your faith, you know, the typical stuff. And then there's going to be a checklist in there somewhere. There we go, there's the checklist. And on that checklist, before you go to Super Summer, you have to have, I think it's 3 service hours. Is that correct?
Something like that.
Okay, something like that. Something like 3 service hours, you got to go, you know, serve your community, and then you're going to have to write a short essay about it. Not that big of a deal. Put it in the packet. Then you need 2 reference letters.
Everybody say 2.
2. All right, you get your 2 reference letters written. Can't be by a parent, you know, it can be church leaders, anything like that. Stick it in the packet. And is that it?
That's it.
I'm missing something.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's great.
It kind of sounds like a big deal, but it's really not. It's like, I mean, it might sound a little intimidating, but I mean, I was really scared of it my first year and the year before that, and it actually made me not want to go, and I didn't go, and I regret that. So if y'all are scared of the packet and you think it's a big deal, it's really not that big of a deal, and if you go to Super Summer, you're not going to regret it. It's going to be the best week of your life. So, yeah.
Sweet. So, yeah, so you're going to work through this packet, and then here in a second, I'll explain everything that's inside the packet, what's on the checklist, the things that you have to do. But after you finish the packet, you got to bring it back in, and you got to turn it in to Kemperai. And so what you'll do is you'll bring it in, fully complete, deposit in the packet, you'll submit it, then Kemp's going to reach out to you, and he's going to say, hey, it's time for you to have an interview, okay? Interview sounds kind of scary. Callie, will you tell us a little bit about the interview?
The interview is really not that bad. They ask you like about your testimony, and so you share that, and then they ask you a couple questions about that, and you just talk about your life, and then they ask you why you want to go to Super Summer, and about your walk with Christ, and like if you're living for Him or not, and yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's like super chill. You just come in for a conversation with Kemp and I, and guys, do you guys think I'm scary? No. Okay, good. I was gonna say, if you think I'm scary, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm literally like 5'4". But you'll just come in for an interview with Kemp and I, where we're just gonna have a conversation with you just about your walk with Jesus. Like, why do you want to go to Super Summer? Like, what does your walk with Jesus look like? Things like that. What's God doing in your life right now? Things like that. It's a super low-key kind of interview, but it's just kind of an assessment so that we can make sure, like, okay, is this person like wanting to go to Super Summer for the right reasons? Super chill. Now, really quickly, let's walk through the checklist, okay? So, everybody say checklist. All right, so this is in each one of those Super Summer packets down here. Now, at the end of the night, we're going to open up for everybody to come and get a Super Summer packet if you would like to. To those of you who are on crutches, we will bring them to you first so that you guys don't get trampled and break your other knee or hip. And then on the inside, you'll find this checklist, which just has a few quick things that you got to knock out, and then you'll be able to turn it back in. So, listen up. Here we go. First thing, I have fully completed the spiritual assessment and questions in ink pen. Here is the spiritual assessment. All it's going to do is ask you super simple questions about your walk with Jesus. When did you come to know Jesus? What does your walk with Jesus look like now? Things like that. Super simple. Then all signatures are filled in, because you got to sign it. By checking this box, I'm promising to complete my online process promptly upon being accepted to attend Super Summer. So all that means is that after you get accepted to Super Summer, after you've done your interview and everything, we will send you a link, and then you're just going to fill some stuff out online so you can go to camp. Easy. I recognize that reference letters must be typed or written, signed, and given to me personally. Once given to me, the reference letters are to be placed inside the packet. Everybody say inside the packet. Inside the packet. Very cool. So like Ari talked about, you're going to be required to get 2, everybody say 2. 2. You need to get 2 reference letters. You need, first off, everybody say first. You need a reference letter from someone from Evergreen, whether a pastor, discipler, Sunday school leader, small group leader, not a friend. Everybody say not a friend. Not a friend. I mean, if your Sunday school leader is a friend of yours, that's fine, but like not someone who's in the youth group. Next one, say second one. You need a reference letter from an authority figure outside the church and put it inside the packet. Someone like a mentor, a coach, a teacher, not a parent, not a grandparent. I do not want a reference letter from your grandma saying, oh yeah, this is the sweetest child ever. Guys, everyone's grandma thinks they're sweet, but in actuality, you're probably a turd sometimes. So don't ask your grandma for a reference letter. Everybody say, not your grandma. Not your grandma. All right, next one. I have served at least 4, everybody say 4. 4 hours in my church and or school between February 28th and March 31st. Everybody say 4 hours. 4 hours. Very cool. And we'll make sure we've got opportunities for you to get service hours. So you serve 4 hours, and then after you serve 4 hours, you're going to write a 1-page, everybody say 1 page? 1 page reflection about your service project and how you see Christ-like servanthood in serving. Cool? Yeah, it's super straightforward. It'll tell you exactly what to do. Next thing, I've placed the reflection inside the registration packet. And then last thing, I have placed a $50 deposit into the registration packet. Okay? So you're going to fill all that out. You're going to fill out the paperwork. You're going to put $50 in the packet. Everybody say 50 bucks. And you're going to come and turn the packet back in. Now, something everyone needs to be aware of right now. The full cost of Super Summer is $250. Okay? $250. Everybody say 250. 250. All right. But for the packet, you only need 50. Everybody say 50. 50. Very cool. So you're going to finish all that, fill it all out, put it in the packet, and then come and turn it back in. Everybody got it? All right. Give it up for these two. All right. By the way, if you have any questions about anything tonight, go ahead and put the questions slide up there. If you have any questions about anything tonight, go ahead and text this number. That's my phone. So text me, send me any questions you might have, and I'll try to answer them as we go. Cool? Cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give this to one of our crutched students. Elena, you good? Take that. Very cool. Faith, I'll get you later. All right, cool. All right. Text your questions that way. Next people I need you to welcome to the stage is Brielle, Abby Decker, and Jackson McKenzie.
I love you guys.
Oh my gosh. Parker, where are you at? Parker, you got my hand bleeding, man. What? Hey, twinsies. Whoop. All right, cool. All right, so what we're going to be talking about with these three is camp structure. So how is camp broken down? We'll explain it all. So first one, Brielle, you're going to give us kind of a brief explanation. How is Super Summer broken down? Go for it.
Okay, so if you didn't know, Super Summer is a camp for followers of Christ. You don't have to be a leader specifically. You just need to be in a relationship with Christ and want to grow in that. Super Summer is split up between 3 weeks. We always go week 3. So once you get to Super Summer, you're going to go into your school. Your school is just your grade, all the students in your grade. And then after that, you will also be split up into your family group. Your family group is just a smaller group of people inside your school. Your school's purpose is just really to take away from lessons and discussions that you have throughout the week. And then your family group is to get deeper into that and just like have relationships with those people in your family group.
Sweet. Okay, Abby, tell us a little bit about what a normal day at Super Summer looks like.
A normal day at Super Summer is extremely packed and very scheduled out. You will not be bored. Like, as soon as you wake up, breakfast is already being served, and right after breakfast, they'll have school where you get a lesson, and then you'll have time for a quiet time that they set aside for time with God. And then you'll have your family group, so you get to meet with your people. And then, it's really loud. And then, let's see, family group, lunch / free time, depending on what grade you are. They split them up. And then you'll have school again before breakouts, which you get to pick which one you go to those lesson. And then they'll give you free time. And then more breakouts. And then, I'm trying to remember, it goes really fast. Let's see, second breakout, then dinner.
Yep.
And after dinner, you go to school again. And then you go to service, where they have worship in the service. And after service, you get to meet with your family group again to talk it all over and go over your day. And then they have a party that you can go to at night, where everyone goes and it's really chaotic and it's got loud music, but it's fun. So
Yeah. And then you get to go to bed, and then you wake up and do it all again. And it's a lot of fun. Okay, Jackson, one of the things that she said that we go to 2 times in a day is breakouts. Tell us what a breakout is.
Breakouts are like 30-minute classes that you get to go to every day. You get to choose from things from like freedom,
You're good.
leadership all the way to missions classes. Yeah, it's like short little classes that.
Yeah, you're good. It's, breakouts, like you said, it's just short little classes that are really specified to specific topics, like he was talking about, like missions, things like leadership, things that are just going to help you, that you get to pick where you go, that kind of just explains, like, certain details about certain topics. So last year they had ones for dating, they had ones for missions. There was one that AJ taught, it was called Death to Apathy, and it was just talking about, what does it mean to live on fire for Jesus every day? Get out of the funk of just going through the motions every single day, and what does it look like to just chase after Jesus every single day? So it's really specified topics that are really gonna help you in certain areas of your life that you get to be like, hey, that one speaks to me personally. So I'm gonna go to that one and learn how I can be affected in my life by that. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about that Brielle hit on is that a lot of people think that Super Summer is for leaders in the youth group, right? We kind of get this mindset that if you go to Super Summer, oh, that means you're the person who's up on stage. And I know, worst timing to say that because they're up on stage. But Super Summer, you get in the mindset where Super Summer means that you're the ones up on stage, you're gonna go teach, you're gonna go do all these things, you're gonna be the one in front of everybody. And for some of you, that might be kind of scary because you don't like being in front of people, you don't like talking with a microphone, all those things. But the reality is that Super Summer is not for the person who's the super outgoing loud person. Super Summer is for any person who is ready to take their walk with Jesus seriously. Super Summer is for any student who said, I have given my life to Jesus, and I'm ready to take it a step further. I'm ready to see what God can do in my life. I'm ready to learn how God can speak to me and through me to the people who are in my grade, to the people who are walking through similar things that I'm walking through in my life. So if you hear people talking about Super Summer and they're like, oh, it's for kingdom leaders, all these things, we're building kingdom leaders, all these things, and you're like, well, I don't know if I want to be up on stage and things like that. I don't want to be looked at. Get that out of your brain, because that's not what Super Summer's for. Super Summer is to build followers of Christ. And that is all that Super Summer is for. So if you're ready to take your walk with Jesus seriously, man, like Abby was talking about, there's schools where, oh, wait, no, we'll talk about schools in a minute. We'll talk more about schools. I'll come back to that. I thought we already got through it. All right, well, yep, that's it. Give it up for these guys. All right. So now we're gonna talk about schools. Give it up for Emma and Mandy and Chase. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, Chase. I like your boa? Oh, he said, Thank you. All right. So, to answer the question that I was just about to answer myself, what is a school? Emma, tell us about it.
Hi. Okay. Well, it's loud. So basically, kind of like what Brielle said, a school is based off of the grade that you just graduated. So say you just graduated 7th grade, then you would be in red school, or I think red, blue, orange, yellow, green. Silver.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. But sometimes the schools are so big that they have to split it up into like, last year there was green 1 and then there was green 2. So there's also that. During your school time, you have lessons, obviously. Abby talked about that. But the different schools have different lessons based off of the life. What's the word I'm thinking? Like
the season of life?
The season of life that you're in. So like red school, 7th grade is going to be completely different than silver school is, which is a senior. So they really tailor it to like what you're dealing with in the moment. But yeah.
Yeah. So one other thing about schools is, like Emma was talking about, is each one of them are kind of broken up into colors. So like she talked about, 7th grade, you guys are red school. 8th grade is blue school. 9th grade is orange. I'm in orange school this year, so whoop, whoop. And then like each one is broken up into colors, and that's going to be significant for a purpose that we'll talk about here in just a second. But before we do, so we've got schools, but then schools are broken up into smaller groups called family groups. Chase, tell us about family groups.
Okay, so family groups are pretty much the backbone of Super Summer, so to speak. It's kind of what sets it apart as like kind of the camp where you take your spiritual life more seriously. Because you go to Falls Creek, don't get me wrong, Falls Creek is great, you should definitely go, sign up now. But
no, you don't know that yet. That hasn't been announced yet, you don't know that.
Go to Falls Creek, but not yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the difference between Super Summer and Falls Creek is Falls Creek, it's you do lessons and you have fun. You have a ton of fun. It's great, and you learn about God. The thing about Super Summer is you take these lessons and you take them in schools, and then you take them from chapel in the evenings. But then you go into your family groups, which is a select number of people from your school, which is just a small group in essence. But you break down the lesson, and you can learn so much more than you ever would from just like hearing the lessons. Like, because there's been times where I'm like spiritually numb in essence, and I sat through the lesson, I was like, I got literally nothing out of that. Don't get me wrong, teaching at Super Summer is amazing. But then I go into family groups, and someone from a totally different background gives what they heard from it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. How did I not catch that? And it's really eye-opening to just how other people from different backgrounds can kind of, even if you're not getting anything from the lessons, they can help you to learn a lot more.
Yeah, so who's in a family group with you?
Random people from your school.
Yeah, so that's the special thing about family groups, and it kind of sounds a little bit scary, but this is where it becomes awesome. So when you get to your school, everybody gets broken up into their family groups. They split everybody at the beginning, and the idea with family groups is to split you up into groups that you don't know a single person in the group. How many of you guys, does that sound a little bit scary? Yeah, being with a bunch of random people, that's weird and kind of creepy. But here's the thing. That is actually one of the biggest blessings, because when you get to your family groups, you don't know these people, and so you have the ability to just be completely honest about what's going on in your life. Maybe you've been struggling with something, and like the person who was speaking in your school kind of touched on that topic. Man, you don't know these people, and they don't go to church with you. You can just be completely honest and be like, guys, if I'm honest, that's something I'm struggling with. How do I get through that? Like, how do I overcome whatever I'm dealing with? Something like that. But what's really cool is that by the end of the week, you and that family group are literally like family. Like, you guys are so tightly knit because you guys have spent so much time together. You guys feel like you've known each other for years, right? I mean, I can tell you story after story. My first year that I went to Super Summer was Orange School, so 9th grade. And I go to school at college now with some people that I went to, like, that I was in a family group with my first year at Super Summer. And we're still friends today. I have people that my first year as a TL, I was in yellow school. And it's weird, but now the students that I had in my family group, they're now in college, and they go to college with me, and I'm still friends with them. And so that makes me feel old, but that's fine. But no, like the family group is such a big deal because it's who you're going to spend the most of your week with. And yet, these people that you walked into the week not knowing a single one of them, this bunch of randos, and you don't know anybody, and you're really uncomfortable, by the end of the week, you guys are crying and hugging each other and being like, I just don't want to leave. You're like my best friend now. And all these things because you guys have spent so much time together and you've been able to walk through Super Summer with one another. And so it's a really cool experience. And family groups, like Chase said, it's like the backbone of Super Summer. It is the biggest deal. So it's quite the blessing. So now, Mandy's going to tell us a little bit about why we have colors in our schools. Tell us about the Rally at the Rock.
Well, the Rally at the Rock is where all the schools come together, and we all practice like chants with our schools. I still remember mine till this day. It's crazy. But we all go and we have a competition with our chants and see whose chant is the best. And also rooms. We like our school rooms that we go to. They get judged based off of that too. My room got
because they're all
first place.
decorated.
Yeah, they're all different because of the colors, and then just they all have themes. So mine was Orange Grove, and we won first place at Rally. That was really cool.
It was an awesome room.
It was a really cool room, but just it's a fun experience at Rally. So what we do is the day of, you like deck out in your color. Like this is nothing compared to what Super Summer is like dressing up as. But whoa, my brain just froze up. We go and throughout the day, we like have our colors on, and then we go and take a picture with our school in front of Rayleigh, that's what it's called. And then you go to the rock, sit in your section with your school and like your color, and then you go and do your chants, and then do your like didn't we have like a game? Isn't like the rally games they called it. You get to practice for those. That's fun. Like you get to run around the track and everything. But it's just a lot of fun, just competing, but like in a fun way without like pride and all that. And it's just a fun experience overall.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw in the video, but I was in my big old blueberry suit and I had a flag, and we basically had like a mosh pit at like the front of the room we were in. Essentially, that's what the rally is like the entire time. So everybody comes in with their schools, like Mandy said, and everybody's just going nuts. Like everybody's just like screaming. They're decked out in their colors. It's just like an ocean of like every school color. Everybody's going wild, and everybody's being ridiculously loud. Then they do something like church clap or something, which, yeah. Anyway, so they come in, we're all doing our crazy things, and then they like silence everybody. And then they're like, all right, guys, those chants you've been working on all week, let's hear them. And every school comes up with their own chant throughout the week, and they work to perfect it so that when they get to the rally, they have the best chant. Everybody's going to share their chant, and then there's going to be judges that are going to judge who has the best chant. And then the winner, they will announce at the end, and that school gets bragging rights until next year about the fact that their school won the rally. As a student, I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to brag on myself. My school won twice, and I only went 3 times, so I'm just saying it was awesome. Don't boo me. I was awesome, and you just are jealous that you lost. So, anyway, yes, I was that cool. Anyway, so yeah, the rally is crazy. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that is really looked forward to. So, if you like screaming, that's where you want to be. If you don't like screaming, you will really like screaming that day. All right, give it up for these 3. Thanks, guys. All right, the next thing that we're going to talk about is who went over our schedule? Someone went over our schedule. Abby Decker went over our schedule, and she talked about how at night we have a chapel service. So please help me welcome to the stage Ava, Isaac, and Nathan. Very cool. Dude, Evie loves everybody. All right, very cool. So, kind of talking about our nightly teaching, the nightly chapel service. We go throughout the entire day, we do all the things that we do, and then we all come together at night for a nighttime chapel service. So, Ava, tell us, what is the difference at the nighttime teaching from like school teaching or breakouts? Like, what's the feel of the atmosphere that night?
Okay,
So, as Emma said earlier, the schools are tuned to your age group or your season of life. So, when you go to a school lesson, it's mostly talking about things that will personally hit those around your age and in your age group. So they're very attuned to what's happening in that stage of life. Well, as chapel, all of the ages are together, and it's more attuned to just the general teenage like life in of itself. And you're able to learn lessons that go a lot deeper, and you're just able to get to know more in general, while schools, you're getting to know individual parts. That's all I have to say.
Very cool. All right. Nathan, tell us, nice bucket hat.
Thank you.
And your, what is it called? A lay? Is it lay? Leia? Lay?
I have
Wow.
no clue.
He just spoke with like the voice of God. He was like, Luke, I am your... That's not God. So anyway, well, that's embarrassing. Nathan, tell us what's taught at the nighttime service. Go for it.
I mean, like, what's taught kind of varies on, like, who's the pastor teaching, but, like, every year that I've gone, which is only 2 years, they've had really good, like, preachers and everything, and, like, they're all qualified, and just they have a theme that they kind of select, like, before the week, and they, like, dive into that theme. They have, like, several different points, like, each night, and if you've been to Falls Creek or the weekend, that's the teaching that you shouldn't expect coming into it, because they kind of just have evangelical type of teaching where they're inviting everybody to come to Jesus, but like, I mean, they're still doing the same as Super Summer, but the teaching is more centered and geared toward like how you can grow in your faith and like how you can apply certain things to your life. And so it's really just more towards like how you can grow in your faith, and it gets pretty deep sometimes, and it's pretty emotional and just a great atmosphere, and there's a lot of encouraging people around there, so it's incredible.
Sweet. Isaac, tell us what's something that God has taught you during the nighttime service at Super Summer.
Well, there's a lot, obviously, because the lessons are like really good. But I have my notes right here, and the guy preaching last year was named Jay Sanders, and he did this series over the week, and it was like 4 lessons, and they were called what was the first one? Oh yeah, I'm with you, and then there's I love you, and then thank you, do not fear, and then you can come home. And so one that spoke to me like a lot was the one called Do Not Fear, and he started out by just like defining like what fear is, and he said it really spoke to me because it just makes a lot of sense. And like he said, fear is anxiety caused by real or possible dangers. And then he went on to just like preach, and like he was very in the word the whole time. And another thing that just like really spoke to me, he said fear not is mentioned in the Bible over 300 times. And I was like, dang, is it really? And so after the lesson, I was like, I'm going to look up how many times that actually is. And it's actually 365 times, which is the amount of days in a year. So for every time the Bible says, do not be afraid or fear not, depending on your translation, it's saying don't be afraid like every single day of the year. So that's just really, that just really spoke to me. And then he said a quote from a guy named Levi Lusko. I don't really know who that is, but he said, remember that God isn't scared of what you're scared of. And that was just overall just like summed up the whole lesson for me, because like he's all powerful and he's over everything. And yeah.
Sweet. All right, give it up for these guys. Thanks, guys. All right, here's what I need you to do. You have... that's awesome, guys. That was really cool. Okay, here's what you got. You got 1 minute. Wait. You have to stand up and go get a selfie with one of our leaders. Go. 1 minute. All right. Are we all back? All right. Deep breath. Yep, that's how you take a deep breath, guys. All right. If you're back with us, give me a woot woot. All right, real quick. And a hush comes over the crowd. One thing you need to know about your packets. I'm going to deliver faiths real quick. I got you. One thing you need to know about the packet is you are being asked also, there is in your packet a little description of what you're going to be writing about. And if it is your first time at Super Summer, you'll be talking about, Kemp, you said it was, first time is what?
First time is kingdom, like what does it mean to be a kingdom leader?
Yep, what does it mean to be a kingdom leader?
Second, if you are been to Super Summer before, you're going to write about what you've learned from Super Summer and how you have applied it to this youth.
Sweet. Everybody got it? Yeah, just follow the checklist. It's really straightforward. First year, what does it mean to live for the kingdom, to be a kingdom leader, to serve, be a servant? And second year, if it's your second year or more, you've been to Super Summer before, how have you taken what you learned at Super Summer and applied it to your life here at home? Everybody got it? Very cool. All right, next thing we're going to be talking about is worship. So give it up for Ryan, and Lily Buford. Lily, is it okay if I change your name? Lily? Hey, Lily, is it okay if I change your name to Ryan temporarily so we have 3 Ryans? Sure. All right, give it up for Ryan, and Ryan. Just kidding. All right, Lily, or Ryan 3, please tell us what's special about the worship at Super Summer?
Okay, so first of all, like the worship at Super Summer is just amazing. If you've been to the weekend or Falls Creek, it's a lot like that. Like you are leaning over your seat, you are just reaching and like reaching for the presence of God in that room because you know it's in there, and you will find it. Sorry. Basically, so sorry. Anyways, I remember last year was my first year at Super Summer because I was Red School, and there was this really powerful time of worship when all of Red School went up to the front of the room, and we were just worshiping, and our hands were in the air, and I fell to my knees at the feet of God, and I was just like worshiping them there, and I was praying, and people that I didn't know, they didn't know me, I didn't know them, never seen them before. They put their hands on me. They were praying with me. They were worshiping with me because the worship in that room is just so amazing. And also, like I said that the worship is a lot like Falls Creek in the weekend. It is, but it's not. Briella and I were talking about this a couple nights ago, and she really pointed out that since Super Summer has an emphasis on being a Christian, when you go versus Falls Creek in the weekend, she pointed out that all the people in that room, most of them, are Christians just like you, and they are raising their hands not at a show, but truly just in worship of our one true God. That's all I have for you.
Sweet. All right, Ryan with an E at the end. Please tell us a little bit about maybe an experience you've had in the worship at Super Summer.
Okay, so I'm a senior, so I've gone to Super Summer quite a few years, and the Lord has really continuously used Super Summer as an experience to change my life, like over and over again. But something I've really struggled with in my life is doubt and questioning God's ability to take care of my life and God's ability to lead me where He wants me. And last year, I was a junior, and I was going into my senior year, and I was just overcome before I went to Super Summer with like the doubt that like God will show me the path that He has for me for my life. And I just had all these questions racing through my brain. And one of the nights, kind of like Isaac talked about, the speaker talked about surrendering our fears before the Lord. and just laying our burdens down at the feet of Jesus and trusting that he will take care of that. And that night during worship, my eyes were really open to the fact that surrendering your burdens to God is one of the most freeing things that you can do. And that really changed my outlook on going into this year and all the doubts that I had. And worship at Super Summer isn't going to change your life, but having a heart that is open to surrendering to the Lord and a heart that is willing to hear from him will. And so I really encourage you guys to go to Super Summer, because the Lord can really use that experience to open your eyes to a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different things that he's trying to tell you. So yeah.
That's awesome. All right, Ryan Con. Oh, hold on. I need this to be appreciated. Ryan Con. Come on, guys. I used Ryan's name with Ryan. It's funny. All right, Ryan, thank you. Ryan, tell us about first off, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Second off, tell us about maybe your experience with the worship at Super Summer.
Okay, so to begin, one thing just kind of cool about the whole worship service is there's often people in the very back just sitting there and praying for you the entire time. The entire group, there's just like adults back there just praying over the entire hour and a half that you're there. So that's really cool to begin with. But like a cool kind of testimony about just something that happened there. One of my family members was kind of like complaining sort of about the worship, basically how one of the songs he didn't think was like right to be singing and stuff because it's more about ourselves, which I gotta kind of just talk with him like, worship is us giving gratitude towards God and giving him thanks. Like the song I was talking about was gratitude. Like it's about, sometimes we gotta command ourselves to, oh, come on my soul, don't get shy on me, just lift up your song and sing to God. And just getting that reminder that it's not, yes, it's all about God, but sometimes it's us reminding ourselves to praise God, because sometimes life gets hard and then worship can just be so freeing to us, and that we just need to just let go and just worship him with everything that we have, because he's worthy, and you sing songs about how worthy he is. So just worship there can be so freeing, and it's just like such a great time because you have 100 or more people who are like-minded and just want to worship, and it's literally just a taste of heaven, like just 1/1,000,000th of what heaven's going to be like, because it's so much greater. And yet it's just so freeing to just worship there and just have everyone around you is wanting to worship God the same way you are. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to touch on that real quick. One of the things that Ryan said is that it's like a little taste of heaven. And honestly, at Super Summer, my junior year, how many of you guys went to the weekend, not this year, but last year? We had the band was Aaron Boyd. You guys remember Aaron Boyd? So my junior year of Super Summer, I was in green school, and Aaron Boyd was the band at Super Summer. And something just absolutely crazy happened while we were there. Is we were getting ready to approach a time of worship, and Aaron Boyd was talking about this passage in Revelation 7, where it talks about how John, who's receiving this vision from God, he looks and he sees the throne of God, and all around the throne of God is people from every tribe and nation and tongue and language, and all these people together are worshiping God before his throne. And this is a vision of what heaven is going to be like, is that there's going to be people from all around the world who stand before God, and the one thing that they have in common is they've all been saved by Jesus, and they are all worshiping him for what he's done in their lives and through them. And so he explains all of this, and then we go into a time of worship. And one of the songs that he sings is a song called Living Hope. A lot of you guys know that, and he sings Living Hope, and kind of like what Lily talked about is that there are so many people in that room because Super Summer is built for those who already have a relationship with Jesus and are ready to take that deeper. So you're surrounded by 800-900 people who just want to take their relationship with Jesus seriously, who want to grow in their walk with God, and everybody is looking to lean into Jesus. And so we sing this song called Living Hope, and in that moment, man, I experienced heaven in that moment. There was something so special in that moment where God it felt like he just opened up heaven and let us see him in all his glory, where we got to worship God knowing God is right here with me. And everything that I am, I just want to sing louder. I just want to give him everything I got. I want to reach higher. I want to fall down on my face even further, if that was even possible. I want to do whatever I can to just give God everything that I have. And this posture of surrender, man, God opened up heaven in that moment, and he let us see. And guys, that was such an incredible experience. And that is what we're looking at. And that is one of the reasons that Super Summer is so impactful in the lives of the students in this youth group. It's because we go with the same desires. We want to grow in our walk with Jesus. And when we get to worship him, surrounded by people who just want the same thing, there's no distractions. There's no people trying to get our attention instead of giving it to Jesus. But we're focused up, and we're all collectively saying, Jesus, we want everything that you give us. We want all of you. And he responds. It's an incredible experience. So I encourage you, man, get ready to have your mind blown, because God is very, very present there. All right, give it up for these guys. All right, we got just a couple of minutes left. Please welcome to the stage Lily Fuller, Wyatt, and Faith. You can do it, Faith. Give it up for the banana. She doesn't want the middle. Hey, do you need something to prop your leg up? Are you sure? Okay. All right. So in this little segment, these three are just going to share a little bit about what has God done in their life through Super Summer. So, Faith, why don't you kick us off?
Oh my gosh, I hate. Okay, so for me, my biggest growth, I guess, was in red school, and I was actually so terrified to go. I did not want to go. I was so scared because my brother was oh, it's so fun. You get to be in a group with random people, and I was like, no, no. And so then I get there, and I was really scared. I may have cried a few times, and then on Wednesday, in our school time, they were talking about one of the TLs or exec staff was talking about how to do a quiet time, and I was like, that's weird. And I was I've heard that before, but I've never actually known how to do it. I've just have heard people do it. And he broke it down so perfectly. And from then on, and he was he gave us so many skills to use and being able to do a quiet time. And I know it kind of sounds goofy, but that was literally what changed my walk with Christ for the best. And it's got me through so many hard things, just being able to be in the Word and have a personal relationship with Jesus instead of just listening to Pastor Michael every Sunday. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Sweet. Wyatt, what about you? What has God taught you through Super Summer? Wow.
There's definitely There's a ton of things that I've learned. It's hard to just sum it up in a little bit of time. But I think the biggest way my life has been impacted by it is just the way I was forced to get out of my comfort zone. And that's something I really struggle with, is being bold as a Christian, which is definitely a super important thing for us to do. And Super Summer is really good at forcing you to get out of that comfort zone, and just all the people around you are supporting you in that and showing you how to be bold for Jesus. And that has impacted my life so much. I'm not perfect at being bold for Jesus, because I never will be, but I've gotten a lot better at it, and it's really just changed my life. So, yeah.
Sweet. All right, Lily, what about you?
I'd say for me, I've gone to Super Summer every year that I was able to. But I will talk about kind of an experience that I had last year. The Lord really taught me the importance of vulnerability with your peers. I am like the least vulnerable person I know. I hate it. It's not my thing. Please don't ask me. I don't want to tell you. It's not for me. But last year, I was in a group with Jacob, actually, and the majority of the people in this group were dealing with the same issues that I had kind of began to overcome. And the Lord really put it on my heart to just have personal conversations with a couple of the girls in the group, and we had an opportunity to pray with them, and he just put it on my heart to kind of share my story a little bit deeper with them. And in doing so, it impacted me in a way that was like, oh, my words have power and my story has power, but also what I've gone through is not just about me, and everything that has happened to me can impact somebody else in a positive way, even if it wasn't a positive thing. Just getting to share kind of how you've overcome it with somebody who's struggling with it in that exact moment is so powerful. And the Lord was just really like, hey, if you continue to do this, I'll continue to bless it. So that's definitely something that I've taken home, is just being vulnerable with the people around me and the impact that it has.
Awesome. All right, give it up for these guys. Take your time, you're good. She said, stand by. Oh gosh, that was almost really bad. Her crutch hit my foot and she almost like, all right, the last three that we're gonna welcome to the stage, talking about how Super Summer has impacted this youth group. Give it up for Jake, Savannah, and Kendall. Very cool. All right. Very cool. All right.
I love you too, Evie.
She said, oh my goodness. All right, here we go. First, how has God used Super Summer? All right, stop. All right, how has God used Super Summer and the people who have gone to it to impact our youth group? Jake, in about a minute or less, tell us about it.
Okay. The biggest way that I see God use our students for our youth group is actually, so we go to Super Summer, and like 2 weeks later we go to Falls Creek, right? And so Super Summer does a super amazing job at equipping us to help use the skills that we learned to pour into other students at Falls Creek. And it is always super awesome to see people take those skills they learned and just apply them just a couple weeks later. And that just helps build that foundation for future leadership, and it makes impact on other students' lives that can see the love of the Lord through Super Summer students. Yeah.
Sweet. It's awesome. Kendall, tell us about it.
Okay, so for me, the hugest thing that I've seen in our youth group, just compared to other youth groups around, because I've visited a few other youth groups, but sorry guys. Anyway. Only when we didn't have church, okay? So I was just like, oh, I'll go,
Okay.
It's okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, so what makes our youth group so different is that our youth group is full of God-loving, just genuine hearts. So many people in this youth group have genuine hearts from the Lord, and all they want to do is serve the Lord and serve his people. And this is something that Super Summer does a great job of equipping and teaching us to do. And so it allows us to come back into our youth group to make it feel like a family. Like, this is the most family-like youth group that I have ever seen. And it's just, Super Summer is such a wonderful thing that, like I said, it just equips you and it teaches you how to pour into others and how to love the Lord genuinely and love his people genuinely. So, yeah.
Awesome. All right, that's it. Stop.
That's quite
Guys,
enough.
we got one left. One left. All right, Savannah. Go for it. Tell us about it.
So there's a verse in James that says to be doers of the word and not just hearers. And so I feel like this really applies to Super Summer because you can go to Super Summer and you can make great friends and you can make great relationships. But if you don't come back and apply what you've learned to Super Summer, you've missed the point and you're also missing out. Super Summer is a great time. Super Summer is a super fun camp, but if you're not there to have a teachable attitude and just a spirit that's willing to be changed by whatever God wants to do, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. So I encourage you to really prayerfully consider going to Super Summer and just be praying leading up to Super Summer that God would show you how he wants to shape you and shape the rest of your life through this. And that you would just not waste the gift that is Super Summer. So that's really all that I have to say.
Man, that's good. Give it up for him. All right, you guys, go ahead and take a seat. Go ahead and take a seat. Okay, real quickly. All right, listen. We've got one last thing to talk about. If you are one of the people that is still coming around the room clapping, my dad's gonna come around and like just absolutely body slam you, so stop that. All right, give it up for Kemper. All right, we got one last thing to talk about. Kemper, tell us about it.
All right. Ooh, that's loud. All right. So here's the thing. I don't think anyone in this room has had the opportunity, but a few years ago, there was actually another, I'm going to stand up whenever I talk. There was another color, another school called Purple School. And Super Summer ended up retiring it. And this year, for the first time in, I bet you in at least 6-7 years, they are bringing back Purple School. So, you guys don't even know what Purple School is.
Like, yay,
Purple School. I literally could be like, Purple School's for the people. I literally could have been like, Purple School's for the people that like wet their beds. And you would be like, yeah, Purple School. No, here's the deal. Oh, listen to me. Here's the deal. Purple School. Purple School is for those who are called to ministry. Now listen to me. Listen to me. This is important. Few things about Purple School. One, you have got to be a junior or a senior to go into Purple School. So if you feel you're called to ministry and you're like a freshman, that's awesome. You got to wait until you're either a junior or a senior to go to Purple School. Here's the thing, another thing about Purple School and the way that you're going to go. You are going to sign up just like normal. So if you are a green school and you want to go Purple School, you are going to sign up just like a green school. And then during your interview, we're going to talk about that. If you want to go to Purple School, you let us know in your interview and we'll give you special things to do. Same thing if you're a senior. Listen to me. This is really important. The reason why they retired Purple School was because what was happening was that people were going to Purple School because they were a leader in their youth group. They're like, well, I'm a big leader in my youth group. Oh, yeah, I get up here and do Bible studies every once in a while. Oh, I lead worship on the stage. I should probably go to Purple School. Here's the thing. It is not everyone at Super Summer, it should be a leader whether you're on the stage or not. But Purple School is only designed for those who feel called to go into the ministry after high school, right? So here's what they're going to do. They're going to get there, and they're going to try to convince you. I'll be honest, because I've gone through Purple School. They are going to try to convince you that if you can do anything else and be happy, to do that thing. And they're going to pair you off. And they're going to be like, so what are you called to do? Oh, well, I feel like God's calling me to go into youth ministry. And they're going to put you and help you with your walk with the youth ministry. Oh, I feel like God's calling me into children's ministry. Oh, they're going to help you with your walk in children's ministry. Oh, I feel like God's calling me to missions. They're going to help you in that walk to missions. So if you go there and you're like, oh, well, I'm just a leader, here's what's going to happen. They're going to send you to your proper school, right? And it's so serious that they're having the youth pastors write out, give permission to go to Purple School. So understand something. Purple School is not better than any other school. It's not like, oh, the elite go to Purple. That is not it. It is literally just a way that we can help you with your walk. So if you would like to go in, if you feel like God is calling you into the ministry, I think Purple School is a really awesome thing. If not, that is okay, and you will thrive and have a terrific time at your school. So if you're interested in Purple School, just make sure you mention that at your interview, because you're going to sign up everything the same, except you're going to do something a little different for Purple School. All right, so that is Purple School. One thing I want to say before we move on to our very last thing, and I promise we'll get you out of here, is this. Cheeto did an awesome job, so let's clap it up for Cheeto real quick. He did an awesome job putting this together tonight. Here's the thing, though. We talked about Super Summer, and here's the deal. What Cheeto said is absolutely correct. You know, you do not need to be a leader in the sense that you have to be up on stage, or that you have to lead worship or speak at a Bible study or be someone that's always active. Here's the thing. That being said, you don't have to be a leader in the sense that you're on the stage, but we do expect you to be a leader in the sense that you're a leader in this youth group. Let me tell you what that looks like. That means that even whenever the sun is shining and like your buddies come and say like, hey, let's skip youth tonight, let's skip church tonight, and let's like go and do something else, you show up. That's what a leader does. Whenever you are given that extra bit of homework and you have a little bit of homework, a leader doesn't skip church, doesn't skip midweek to do that homework. They just stay up a little bit extra that night and finish that homework. A leader helps and is involved in things around the church. They serve somewhere. So we're going to expect Super Summer students to serve in some way. I say all this not to intimidate you, not to like scare you or anything, but it's just to let you know that if you go to Super Summer, you are going to be held to a higher standard. You are going to be held to a higher standard. We're going to look at you as leaders. Whenever I need help with something, whenever a new student shows up, I'm going to go pick a Super Summer student to go and befriend that student. Whenever I need extra help, like to do a job that isn't very popular, like put down chairs or take down chairs or, move something heavy, guess who I'm going to call first? Super Summer students. Here's the deal. So understand, you do not have to be the most interactive, like up on stage person to go to Super Summer. But we do hold you to a higher standard. But I think that's a good thing. And Super Summer, if you haven't noticed, you can see all these testimonies of all these people, is an amazing camp. And I really think if you are someone that has never been before, and right now you're teetering and you're like, oh, I kind of want to go, but I don't know, do it. Do it. I promise you will not be sorry. Got anything else to add?
Just last bit of information. Real quickly, here in a second, we are going to give an announcement, and then we're going to pray, and then after we pray and you guys are dismissed, you'll have the freedom to come up and get a packet. Do not, topple over each other to get a packet. If we run out of packets, we'll print more. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. Here's what you need to know. Everybody say March 31st. Everybody say it again. Say March 31st. Okay, these packets, fully completed, are due March 31st. Got it? That means you have 4 weeks to do everything in that packet, to reach out to your people that you need reference letters from, to do your service hours, to write your reflections. You have 4 weeks. Everybody say 4 weeks. Now, there is no extension. So if you do not get it in by March 31st, that means you do not go to Super Summer. Got it?
Please do not put us in the uncomfortable situation of having to say no. Don't come up and say, oh, well, I got everything done, but I'm just waiting on my last letter of recommendation. Let them know. When you get those letters of rec, let them know this has to be turned in by March 31st. Plan ahead. Please do not put us in that awkward situation. Guys, just about any other camp, weekend, Falls Creek, all that other stuff, we're going to try to work with you. Super Summer, things are due at certain times, and if we don't get it in, then essentially what happens is weeks fill up quickly. So can you imagine if we had to wait for everyone, and then we send it in late, and then we don't get to go week 3 because we didn't turn it in on time? That's why we are so strict with what we're doing. So March 31st. March 31st.
Everybody say March 31st. Yeah, just get it back in, and then we'll be able to move on to the next thing. Everybody got it? Yeah. All right.
Hey,
cool.
Hey, Cheeto, before we go, You want to announce one more little thing?
I would love to announce one more thing. So, we've talked a lot about a camp that happens in the summertime. But I don't know if you guys know this, but there's another camp that happens in the summertime that is like super awesome.
It is super awesome.
And it's a lot of fun. And we do these really cool theme nights. And you can bring your friends that don't know Jesus, and they can meet Jesus there. And it's really awesome. But before we can go to that camp, we have to have a sign-up night. And at that sign-up night, we get a super discount.
Dare I say it, super duper discount.
What? A super duper discount for Falls Creek.
Ladies and gentlemen, Falls Creek.
Mark your calendars, because April 10th, we've got Falls Creek sign-up night, where we are going to have, for 1 week, everybody say 1 week, a super duper. You guys didn't have to repeat that, but go you. A super duper Falls Creek discount. So, come join us April 10th. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kemper, you got anything to say about that?
I got it, man. How about you pray us out?
All right, deal. I'm going to pray, and then you can come and get a Super Summer packet. So bow your heads. Let's pray. Jesus, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the testimonies of how you have changed lives through Super Summer. Lord, for each of the students that were able to get up here tonight and share their story, and for those who have been to Super Summer who didn't get to come up and share, Jesus, we are thankful for how you have used Super Summer to change lives. Jesus, we are excited to see how you are going to use Super Summer to change lives this year and in the future. Jesus, we are excited to see what you're going to do in the hearts and the lives of these students. We pray that you would be glorified, that you would give these students excitement about what you're going to do at Super Summer. Jesus, we love you. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Get a packet.
Right, come get your packets.
Hey guys, I'm Christian.
And I'm Christian.
Thank you so much for watching our YouTube video.
Don't forget to join us every Wednesday night for midweek service at 6:30 p.m.
Awesome. The doors open at 5:30. We start at 6:30. Hope to see you there.